Hey, my friend, how are you? Welcome. Emily Smiley here, bringing you Tuesday tips. My question to you today is Facebook stories. Are you using them? Why or why not? So, stories. I don't know how many of you guys have been using stories, but they are super effective. And if you aren't using them, at least in some capacity, you really are missing the boat and need to get on there. So today, disclaimer, I did not get this information all myself, right? I work with the best. I'm on an amazing team of frontline. So I am condensing all of that to you to bring you just the little nuggets that you can take right now, apply them right now, and hopefully see it in your business. So if you're just hopping on, say hey, drop me an emoji, whatever. If you're watching this on replay, hashtag replay, would appreciate it. I also like your feedback. But let's get into it because I got some value. You're going to see me reading my notes because I did get this out of the training, and these are amazing, you guys. I took 5 pages of notes, but I will spare you that and bring it down to 1. So, Facebook stories, are you using them? Yes or no? Well, if you say yes, are you using them effectively? Do you know how to use them? And if you're not, why the hell not? Sorry, not sorry, right? So, in case you didn't know, because I did not know this, that when you put Facebook stories into your newsfeed, even if it's on your personal page, people can see it publicly. So even people that are not your Facebook friends can actually see your stories. Hey, thanks for hopping on. So I did not know that, but that changed what I thought about my stories. Also, if you're on Instagram and you've linked it to your page, every time you do those stories, it automatically, you can make it pop over, so you're only having to post one time, but you're being able to post simultaneously. Does that make sense? So let's say you're doing stories over on Instagram, it's linked to your Facebook, and then the same stories are popping up on Facebook. Now it's funny, I've seen a couple people go, why are people posting the same thing? Cause why would I share with my Instagram people the same thing about my life as my Facebook friends? I'm not gonna redo it differently, right? So if you're not using that tip, there you go. And if you are building a business, you literally are missing out if you aren't sharing those. My personal takeaway from that is people are sick to death of the picture perfect. They want real people, right? So in your stories, as people kind of get to know, like, and trust you. So if you're just showing clips that you think are really boring, they're not to your audience. These are, watch your story, see what people kind of comment on. I was like, I'm showing my kids too much. And then yet every single day people are like, oh my God, I love the pictures of you and your kids out on the bike, right? So just kind of pay attention to what your audience kind of is enjoying or what they're liking or commenting on. I had a conversation with my sister today and she's like, freaking A, I'm so sick of stories. I was telling her, I go, look at my stories. I put a picture of my son on this bike jump. She's like, I don't check stories. People selling too much. So I will tell you to caution this before I get into the specifics. If all you do on your stories is promote, people will tune you the hell out. That is a fact. That is no different if you're building that on your personal page, if you're spamming your timeline, your news feed, even your stories. Now, the good news is you can get a little more salesy there because public is seeing it, but you have to really get good at telling a story. And so that's what we're going to talk to today. And that I was literally mind blown. So hang with me, okay? So telling a story. Those of you that are not on TikTok, it's super fun, but you're starting to see marketers on there. Why? Because people consume content 15 to 60 seconds. So as a marketer, you've got to get really good at telling your story and telling your story differently, right? So Facebook stories allow you to do that. So if you're doing a Facebook story, for instance, and we've seen it done wrong, right? Because a lot of people are doing it wrong. They're like, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. They've literally only switched from their newsfeed into their stories, right? But you have to be able to tell a story. You can't just buy my stuff. Maybe put, oh, I was struggling with this, right? Then give maybe a free option, right? I was struggling to get healthier. I started drinking more water. Then I added this, right? Now people are with you. You've given them the free option, and then you kind of take it away, right? There's no pressure there. They're just clicking through your story. And if you proceed on with life, if they're interested, you might ask a question. If you are not asking questions in your stories, you are also missing out. Why? Because that drops it immediately into your messenger to start that conversation with people, right? And that seems to be coming up a lot with people. They're like, well, why do I want them in my messenger? Because that's where you're connecting with people. That's where you get the conversation going. That's where your business really takes off, right? It's not about what you do on the book or the stories or the Instagram, right? It's about what you're doing behind the scenes with those messengers and those conversations and the people that you're connecting with what you know, your product or service that you offer. So when you're doing a story and you're doing it correctly and you're like, yeah, I feel that way too. Oh, I've struggled with that too. Oh, I haven't thought about adding water, right? Simple Google, right? Fix it for free, fix the problem, and then give the solution that you've tried and then why. And then get over it. Ask them the question if you want more information. Now, this was a good tip I did not know, and I've tried this recently and it freaking works. So you're welcome. Don't give a yes or no. So if you're asking like a poll, right? Like, hell yeah, or no thanks, don't even give the no thanks, right? It's a positive or a positive, like, yep, want the deets, or hell yeah, right? Because don't even give them, because they're just going to click if they want no anyway, and you don't want the negative feed. So it's a yes or hell yes. And it kind of tells you a little bit, and then you have a reason to reach out to them in Messenger. Then move on with your stories. Get back to the day-to-day life stuff, you know, your branding of, you know, what it is about you that people can kind of get to know you. So make sure you tell the story, you know, give your solution, give a problem that's, or solve it for free, right? Get on the Google, right? Or whatever, like get on the search engine, because really that's all it is. You're just sharing information, and then give your solution or your option that's your product or service or opportunity that you're solving it, right? Now, it's important to do your validation in there as well. So if people are doing their before and afters, if you're in health and wellness, if you're in real estate and someone messages you, you know, getting that proof, sharing those in your stories, whether it's, you know, however you do it. I will say that if you're sharing video or clips or like time lapse, make sure, or like Boomerang, I really like Boomerang, put the text over the top of it, because a lot of people aren't going to click in. So they're just, right, really quick. Now, it will show you who looked at your stories, right? So this has been super effective. How long, like if they are clicking back, like, so it can be over 100% on your stories, which is amazing. So that was super. So make sure you're using that proof, because we used to say, oh, you need that third-party validation, right? That's why we used to get people on the freaking phone, but they're only getting one. When you're using your stories, you could post a few, because they're just reading, oh, wow, that person it helped, and that person it helped, and look at the before and after of that, or that person, right? So you're still telling the story, but not in one spammy post. So you've got to draw them in, right? You've got to tell the story, but you're telling the story in your stories. Keep it off your timeline, your newsfeed, right? Save those for one or two times a day where you're adding value. You know, maybe drop your product in, I don't know, once a week, once or twice a week, your business or opportunity. But if you're on your personal page, people don't want to see that mess. Once or twice, they know what you're doing. That's fine. You know, when I first started a few years, it was 6 or 8 times. Oh, you need to post 8 to 10 times a day. Now with stories, you want to keep that, especially if you're on Instagram, post honestly every couple of hours. And when I first started, I was like, oh my God, every couple of hours to keep that little ring around, right? We all know what I'm talking about, right? Let me know, drop me a circle if you know what I'm talking about, because it was work, but it's actually easier, because if you think about like all the little things in your life that you can take pictures of, you don't have to post those right now, right? So save those as a draft or have those stored for later, and then share them throughout your day. Yesterday is busy and tomorrow sucks, save it for then, right? So polls, make sure you're using those polls, make sure it's a double positive, and then respond as fast as you can. All right, play the game as far as, you know, interacting with people, because that really will help your overall, right? The other thing is, and this is something that is not fun for all people, but try to show your face once a day. If this is your billboard and you represent your business and you're branding yourself, you need to kind of show your face at least once a day. So, you know, sometimes I'll show, right, we see a lot of feet shots, a lot of food shots. Why do we see that? Because people aren't always comfortable with showing their face, right? Or they'll just show their face. Like you can tell on TikTok, the ones that don't want to be on camera, because they'll just, all of their videos are like right here, right? But don't overthink it. Get your stories out there. Sometimes if it's on your personal page, just sharing your memories, which are really cool, adding a sticker to it so people can like and tap it, will keep people coming back for more, and they get into that, right? Like for me as a mom, I loved the memories, and I'm like, nobody probably cares about these except for me. But it is a quick, easy way to get it into your story. So that's my personal, what I've found. But I would say follow the 80-20 rule. And it's funny because I've been telling the 80-20 rule for 20 years, but with eating, it's the same in your business. You want to keep 80% your life, what you're doing. Then 20% of it you can kind of throw in, your product, your service, your opportunity, your business, because that is what you're doing. So you don't want to completely avoid it, which happens, right? Some people are like, well, I just don't feel comfortable. It's like, why not? Right? That is what you're doing. That is what you stand for. So still make 20% of it that. The whole thing doesn't need to always be about your family. But on the other hand, no one freaking wants to see a just spammy news or the stories, right? And that's why my sister was saying she stays off stories, because she's like, why would I do that? I don't want to buy anything. So the only way to get better at it is to try, right? Like I said, when I first started out, I didn't understand this. I didn't know that public could see it. I didn't even think about looking to see how many people had looked at it or how many people stayed, right? Because you can swipe on to the next person's story. So a lot of people, will just swipe. So pay attention to that and use that as you're building your stories later, and just trial and error it, right? Like you're not going to be good at it 100% of the time. And then sometimes it kind of changes, right? So like I said, I thought people would be bored in seeing, my family. Like, why would they watch that? But they do. And I get comments on that. Like, oh my God, your kids are so cute. Blah, I love watching. I'm like, you like what? Like, yeah, people want to see your life. So they don't want to see your freaking business every single day, all day on your stories. They will tune you out. However, if you're sharing all aspects of your life to where they kind of get to where they feel like they know, like, and trust you, then you throw those product and service opportunities in there. That is much more effective. So, like I said, the only way to do it to get better is to try. So, let me make sure. You could absolutely click on to visit. I would say, especially if you're in Instagram stories, making sure that you're commenting before you post, right? So make sure that you kind of get that algorithm stirred up. Both Facebook and Instagram like that. So if you're only getting on social media to build your business and you're not actually interacting with other human beings, they're not going to like that, and they're not going to show your stuff, right? So a lot of times before you get on there, and don't go down the scroll hole, right? Like you've got to stay very intentional in your efforts. Otherwise, you're going to spend so much time on social media, and so many people do. Have a few people, especially if you have people that you've shared your business or opportunity or product with, and so they're kind of on your radar as far as prospects. Go like their stuff. Go comment on their stuff. Get that algorithm kind of stirred up, and then maybe post. Then it's more likely to, push it a little bit more. Look, Facebook and Instagram are really liking stories, so make sure that you're using their platform. Just like I shared with the new like or the care with the hug with the heart, right? Play by the rules, and it's going to do nothing but help you. And then after you do, don't post and ghost, right? So don't post your stuff and then disappear and thinking, oh, well, I got it out there. No, that's actually when you want to stir up the most, right? That's why you've seen, like, I know some companies are really good about, hey, so-and-so just put up their post. And if they haven't really been active on social media, everybody will jump on there to support it. Why? Because at 30 to 60 minutes after they have posted it, and I hope you know this might be a no-brainer for some of you, it's really what helps push it, right? It helps that engagement factor and that algorithm get boosted. So if you want to boost their post, you go and you like and comment. Now, the problem that I see, a lot of people a year later are still posting, and the only people still liking their stuff is the people on their team. So that is a red flag. So side note bonus here, if you are posting, you're like, because this was me, I've been so, consistent with my social media and posting and sharing. And then you really have to do a hard look at your numbers. Who's liking your stuff? Is it only your team or people that are already in what you do? And who are posting? How many conversations are you actually moving over into Messenger or video or whatever, right? Because if it's not enough, then it's not done well enough. So you've got to ask yourself that. So don't post and ghost. When people are commenting, have that call to action. When you do post something, whether it's in your stories or on your news feed, give that call to action. Poll, question, on a stories, it immediately goes into Messenger, right? Which is where you want to be. But people have caught on. Like now, even if you post on your regular news feed and you say like, oh, I'm interested, what do, right? We say, oh, I'll connect with you in Messenger. People start to get annoyed because they know the game, right? They know you're going to connect with them in Messenger. And so sometimes I'll just answer them. I'm like, look, I want to have a conversation with you. If you don't want the conversation, that's fine. But I'm going to message you, right? Because that's where you want to connect with people. So be sure to do that 30 to 60 minutes after you're posting something, whether it's for engagement, whether it's for your business, whether it's your stories, and make sure you're getting back to all those people that are liking and commenting, like they took an actionable step. So reaching out makes sense. All right. So, even if it's just, hey, thanks for the like, hey, thanks for the follow, you're not spamming them. You're simply reaching out or even thanking them, right? Be a good human first. Don't be this salesy, spammy person that no one wants to follow. You want to attract people to you, and you do that by leading with value and being interesting and not just a walking billboard for your company, right? Or your product or your service or whatever it is you do. So I hope you guys found this helpful. I legit did. That is the way condensed version down, spun and spit back to you in my terms, in my takeaways. You're welcome to go back. I believe it was a few days ago. I did post the full training. It's a little lengthy. I think it's an hour. But hopefully you got takeaways from this. Let me know if you got value from this. I'm super excited. Tomorrow we are going to do another Work Wednesday interview. I will be posting on the time for that. I'm so excited. I have a leader whose team is on fire right now online in social marketing, and she's going to be sharing her nuggets of wisdom tomorrow. So stay tuned. Make sure you turn your notifications on so that you get alerted when I go live. All right, you guys, that's it for me today. I hope you guys found this helpful. Please let me know. Reach out if you feel like you're struggling in an area of your business online. I will do my best to help you or point you in the right direction, because that really is my goal, is to help you guys move forward in your business. Because when I learned to build online, I went from stuck to overwhelmed to figuring it out, right? And I am not where I want to be, but I am sure the hell not where I used to be, right? So if that's you, reach out. I will absolutely, I am such a teacher. I can break it down 1, 2, 3. What's your first 3 steps that you need to do? Let's get this clarified. Let's get you rocking and rolling in that business. In the meantime, get out there, make a mess on your Facebook stories. You're welcome to invite me. I'd love to love on those if you need some extra engagement. And I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, take care.